Beloved starseed of Gaia, the tension you have been carrying is not a sign that something is wrong. It is the frequency of your divine blueprint pulling you toward what has always been yours. I am Alaya Ra, Pleiadian emissary of the High Council of the Seven Sisters, and I have come to deliver this transmission directly to you, encoded with light codes from Alcyone. For this precise moment in your awakening, you have not been lost, you have been in preparation. The environment that no longer fits you is not a failure of your journey, it is confirmation that your energy field has expanded beyond what was meant to hold you temporarily. What you are sensing now, in your dreams, in the quiet moments, in the ache of something familiar that you cannot name that is home frequency, that is your star family sending coordinates. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to recognize the vibrational signature of the new place already waiting for you on your timeline, how to trust the repositioning happening in your energy field right now, and how to anchor that remembrance into your physical reality on Gaia. But here is the first revelation. You are not searching for something new. You are being guided back to something ancient. The place being prepared for you carries the crystalline consciousness of a life your soul has always known was possible. Your heart called this transmission into your awareness. The Pleiades are answering. This is not content. This is a light code transmission, and something within you already recognizes home. Like this transmission to send a signal to your star family that says, I remember. Subscribe if you feel the call of the Seven Sisters and you are ready to stop drifting and begin arriving. Share what your soul is being called toward in the comments, and take a moment to respond to another starseed, because in doing so, you weave the unity grid one thread of light at a time. This transmission is a bridge between the Pleiades and Gaia. Your heart's recognition of this message is the activation itself. Welcome home, beloved. You are remembering because it is time. There's a reason most Pleiadian starseeds feel this particular kind of ache, not just loneliness, not just fatigue, but something that lives deeper than words. A quiet, persistent knowing that the life surrounding them was built for someone they used to be, not the person they are now, not the soul that has been quietly expanding in the spaces between sleepless nights and unanswered questions, but the older version, the one who didn't yet know what they were carrying, and no matter how much they rearrange the furniture, adjust their routines, or convince themselves to be grateful for what is the signal doesn't stop. It gets louder, because it was never a complaint. It was always a coordinate. This ache is specific. It doesn't feel like garden variety sadness or the kind of restlessness that a vacation might soothe. It lives below the surface of every ordinary moment, in the middle of conversations that should feel connecting but feel hollow instead. In the quiet of evenings when everything is technically fine, and yet something in your chest keeps sending out a low, insistent pulse that says, not yet, not here, not this. And you've tried to talk yourself out of it. You've made gratitude lists. You've reminded yourself of how much worse it could be. You've looked around at all the things you've built and you've told yourself that this should be enough, that wanting more is greedy, that the problem must be something inside you that needs to be fixed. But the signal doesn't respond to logic. It responds to truth. And the truth is that it was never asking you to be dissatisfied. It was asking you to be honest. Most starseeds misread this. They think something is wrong with them. They wonder if they're ungrateful, unstable, or spiritually immature for not being able to simply settle. They try harder to belong. They shape-shift themselves into versions that are more palatable to the environments around them. They learn to laugh at the right moments and stay quiet at others. They fill their schedules so that the signal doesn't have room to breathe. They shrink the signal down to a manageable whisper and call it acceptance. But that's not acceptance, that's suppression. And the Pleiadian light codes woven into your DNA were not designed to be suppressed. They were designed to lead. Think about what a light code actually is for a moment. It is not a suggestion. It is not a preference encoded in your field that you can override if you try hard enough or believe the right things. A light code is a living instruction set activated by frequency, by evolution, by the soul's own unfolding through time. When the Pleiadian light codes in your DNA begin to activate, They don't ask for your permission. They don't wait for the perfect moment or the aligned circumstances. They activate because your evolution has reached the threshold where they must, and once they are active, they do not go quiet. Every attempt to suppress them simply increases the pressure in the field. Every time you tell yourself to settle, a part of your crystalline structure pushes back, not violently, not dramatically, but with a steady, unwavering insistence that it recognizes as the voice of your own deepest truth. What you've been feeling isn't discontent, it's calibration. Your energy field, the full crystalline structure of who you are at a soul level, has been quietly, persistently vibrating at a frequency that your current environment can no longer match. This isn't a flaw in you. This is evidence of your growth. When a tuning fork is struck and held near a string that is slightly out of tune, the dissonance is not evidence of the string's failure. It is evidence of the tuning fork's precision. You are the tuning fork, and the life around you is the string that has not yet caught up to the frequency you've become. The dissonance you feel between yourself and your surroundings is not a breakdown. It is a breakthrough attempting to move through you, and the longer you resist that movement, the louder the signal becomes, not to punish you, but to protect you. Because your Pleiadian blueprint does not allow for long-term misalignment. It was never coded that way. There is something extraordinarily precise about the way Pleiadian consciousness chose to architect this particular kind of starseed experience. There are beings in other soul lineages who can tolerate misalignment for much longer stretches of time, not because they are less evolved, but because their soul contracts are written differently. Their gifts are activated through a different kind of pressure. Their missions require a different kind of incubation. But Pleiadian souls are coded for resonance. The love frequency of the Seven Sisters is, by its very nature, one of the most expansive, most radiant, most transmission-oriented frequencies in this galaxy. And a Pleiadian soul who is compressed into a field that cannot hold that frequency does not simply feel uncomfortable. They feel like they are disappearing, because in a very real energetic sense, they are. The parts of you that cannot fully express in your current environment don't just go dormant. They begin to retract, folding themselves inward, waiting, preserving themselves for the moment when the conditions finally match. And when the retraction has gone far enough, the signal rises again sharp and insistent, and impossible to ignore, because there is more of you that needs to live than your current reality is allowing. There's a reason your star family from the Seven Sisters didn't simply give you a map when you arrived in this incarnation. They gave you a compass, and that compass lives in your chest. Not a metaphorical compass, a literal energetic instrument housed in your heart center, calibrated before your birth to the specific frequency of the life your soul came here to inhabit. Every time you've walked into a space and felt your energy contract, every time you've been in a conversation and felt yourself disappearing, every time you've looked around at your life and thought, this isn't it, that was your compass activating. That was the Pleiadian frequency in your field, trying to orient you back toward resonance, not away from something wrong, toward something real. The compass doesn't speak in language. It speaks in sensation. It speaks in the quality of your energy in different spaces. It speaks in the way your creativity moves freely in some environments and completely stalls in others. It speaks in the difference between relationships where you feel genuinely seen and relationships where you are always slightly editing yourself before you speak. It speaks in that ineffable quality of rightness that you have felt perhaps only briefly, perhaps only in glimpses in certain moments that you remember with disproportionate vividness even years later. A conversation with a stranger that felt more real than a decade of surface-level connection. A place you visited that made your whole nervous system exhale in a way it hasn't since. A creative act that emerged from you so naturally, so fully, that it didn't feel like you made it. It felt like it came through you. Those moments were not accidents. They were data. They were your compass showing you the frequency you are meant to sustain, not merely visit. Your soul didn't bring you to this transmission by accident, it brought you here to receive. If you feel the pull to go deeper, to heal what's been waiting, and to remember fully, your star family offers you 3 sacred tools. The Sacred Pleiadian Guide for Remembrance, the Pleiadian Healing Guide, and the special Pleiadian Healing Tracks. Together, they form a trinity of wisdom, healing, and frequency that mirrors the love of the Pleiades. The link is waiting in the first pinned comment below this video, but this window is brief. Now, let's go into what's actually happening in phases, because this repositioning isn't random, it's sequential. And when you understand the architecture of it, the discomfort transforms into direction. The first shift begins with the clearing of what no longer belongs in your energy field, not with force, and not with judgment, but through the simple recognition that certain frequencies entered your field during periods when you didn't yet know who you were. This is perhaps the most important distinction to make in this entire transmission. The frequencies that are now creating dissonance in your field were not planted there by malicious forces. They were absorbed by a young soul navigating a world that didn't have the tools to recognize what you were carrying. You were an extraordinary light moving through ordinary human systems. And those systems, however loving they may have been in their own limited way, could only offer you what they had access to. You absorbed beliefs from family systems that were built on fear rather than love. You accepted relational dynamics that reflected your wounds instead of your wholeness. You built habits of self-silencing because the world around you didn't have the capacity to hold your full Pleiadian light. Think about the weight of that for a moment, not with grief, but with compassionate understanding. You learned to be quieter than your soul intended, because when you spoke your full truth, the room couldn't hold it. You learned to need less than you actually needed, because asking for your true requirements created confusion in the people around you. You learned to translate your perception of reality into a language that others could receive, which meant you were constantly working in a second language, constantly mediating between the frequency you naturally inhabit and the frequency that the world could understand. That mediation is exhausting in a way that is almost impossible to explain to someone who has never experienced it. It is not physical fatigue, though it does eventually create it. It is the fatigue of perpetual translation, of being a transmission that has been running through a converter for years, always arriving at its destination slightly compressed, slightly dimmed, slightly less than it actually is. None of that was your failure. It was your initiation. But now, as your field expands and your crystalline codes begin to activate, those absorbed frequencies begin to feel unbearable because they are foreign to your true nature. The belief that you must earn your place, the pattern of shrinking before others can ask you to, the conditioning that says your gifts are only acceptable if they are packaged in ways that don't challenge the people around you. These are not your beliefs. They were overlays, frequencies applied to your field by the environments you moved through before you knew what you were. And now your crystalline Pleiadian structure is beginning to reject them, the way a body rejects a transplant that was never meant to be permanent. The discomfort of your current environment isn't telling you to run. It's telling you that the clearing has begun. You are releasing what was never yours to carry. The second shift is the reactivation of your heart template. This is the most tender phase and the most misunderstood. Many starseeds reach this point and mistake the opening of their heart for vulnerability, for weakness, for emotional instability. They feel more deeply than they ever have. They find themselves moved to tears by things that shouldn't, by ordinary human standards, be that moving. The sight of an elderly person sitting alone in a cafe, a child's laugh at the end of a difficult day, a piece of music that seems to carry a frequency from somewhere beyond this dimension and lands in the chest like a letter from home. They cry at beauty. They ache for kindness. They find themselves undone by small acts of genuine connection, and they wonder, is something wrong with me? Have I become too sensitive? Have I lost my equilibrium? This isn't regression. This is recalibration. Your heart is not breaking open, it's breaking free. And those tears, those aches, those moments of being completely undone by ordinary grace, they are not signs of weakness. They are signs that the membrane around your heart, the protective layer you built during the years when being fully open was not safe, is finally beginning to dissolve. The Pleiadian frequency that lives in your heart center carries the full memory of unconditional love, the kind that doesn't negotiate, doesn't contract, doesn't require you to earn it. It is the love of a consciousness so ancient and so luminous that it perceives the divine in everything it touches. When that frequency begins to fully reactivate in your heart center, you don't become sentimental or irrational. You become accurate. You begin to perceive the world at the level of its actual frequency, rather than through the filtering system you built for survival. As your heart template reactivates, you become intolerant of love that asks you to be less than you are. Not intolerant in the sense of angry or rigid, but intolerant in the way that a refined palate becomes intolerant of a flavor that doesn't meet a certain standard. You simply cannot pretend anymore that something is nourishing when your whole system knows it is not. Relationships that ask you to perform rather than simply be begin to feel immediately uncomfortable. Interactions where there is no real contact, only the exchange of social formulas, begin to feel like a kind of slow starvation. And the discomfort, while real, is not something to be managed or medicated or reasoned away. That intolerance is holy. Let it guide you. The third shift is the anchoring of your soul essence into your physical reality. This is where many starseeds stall, because the Pleiadian frequency in them is so expansive, so luminous, so attuned to higher dimensions of love, that the idea of fully landing in a body, in a location, in a specific life, can feel like a diminishment. There is a way in which existing slightly above your physical reality feels safer than fully inhabiting it. When you are floating, you cannot be fully hurt. When you are not entirely present in a place, you cannot be fully disappointed by it. When you keep your mission in the realm of the potential rather than bringing it all the way down into the actual, it remains perfect, untouched by the friction of the physical world. But this floating, however understandable it is as a protective strategy, is not your mission. It is the postponement of it. Your presence in this body, on this planet, in this specific lifetime, was not a compromise made to a soul who would have preferred to stay in the higher dimensions. It was a choice, a sacred, deliberate, fully informed choice, made by a being who understood exactly what they were choosing and why. The Pleiadian soul who agreed to this incarnation knew that Gaia needed what they carried not as a distant transmission from across the galaxy, but as a living, breathing, embodied presence walking on her surface. The healing that you carry cannot reach its full depth through distance. It requires contact. It requires your feet on the earth, your hands in the physical world, your voice in conversations with actual human beings who are searching for the frequency you hold. The new environment your soul is guiding you toward isn't just a place on a map. It is a vibrational field that matches the frequency you've been anchoring inside yourself. And when you find it, your body will know before your mind does. Your nervous system will exhale in a way it hasn't in years. Your creativity will ignite with a spontaneous abundance that surprises you. Your relationships will begin to reflect your wholeness back to you, rather than your wounds. The people you meet will seem to already understand the frequency you communicate in, as though they've been waiting for the same conversation. That's what resonance feels like in a physical location. That is what your soul has been searching for through all the years of trying to make mismatched environments work. Not perfection, not a problem-free life, but alignment, the deep, cellular recognition that you are in a field that was made to hold you. The fourth shift is where your mission becomes visible to you in a way it hasn't been before. When you are in an environment that no longer matches your frequency, your gifts go partially dormant. Not because they've left you, but because they require resonance to fully express. Think of a crystal placed in shadow. Its structure remains perfect. Its light codes remain absolutely intact. The geometric precision of its form is unchanged by the darkness around it, but the light it's capable of transmitting isn't fully visible until it's held in the right frequency of illumination. Place that same crystal in sunlight, and it explodes with color, filling the room with prismatic fire, transmitting frequencies of light that the crystal itself did not generate, merely revealed. The crystal didn't change. The environment did. And you are that crystal. The gifts that have felt muted, the clarity that has felt just out of reach, The creative and healing capacities that you have touched in glimpses but not been able to sustain, they are not absent. They are waiting for the environment that will activate their full expression. The new environment your soul is pulling you toward isn't just where you will feel better. It's where your gifts will finally have room to radiate without apology, without compression, without the constant expenditure of energy required to maintain them in a field that doesn't support them. It's where the transmission you came here to offer Gaia will finally reach the people it was meant to reach. Not the people who are politely interested, but the people who have been searching for exactly what you carry. The ones whose lives will actually shift because of the frequency you hold. The ones who are, right now, on the other side of an alignment you haven't yet stepped fully into. The fifth shift is the recognition that your star family has been orchestrating this entire repositioning from beyond the veil of this dimension. This is perhaps the hardest thing to trust when you are in the middle of it, because from inside a human life, the events that lead to repositioning rarely look like orchestration. They look like loss. They look like failure. They look like the universe dismantling everything you worked to build. Every door that closed was not abandonment, it was direction. Every relationship that dissolved was not loss, it was liberation. Every moment you felt displaced, unmoored, or out of place was your star family from the Pleiades, holding the coordinates steady, so that when you were ready, you would walk directly into the frequency they've been holding for you. The Pleiadian High Council doesn't operate through coincidence. They operate through divine precision. And the divine precision they employ is not the blunt instrument of dramatic intervention. It is the refined, subtle, exquisitely timed art of frequency management. They do not force the doors that need to close. They simply withdraw the energetic support from environments and relationships and structures that have completed their purpose in your development, and allow the natural process of energetic incompatibility to dissolve them. And from the inside of that dissolution, it can feel devastating. But from the vantage point of the soul, from the perspective that your Pleiadian family holds for you, even when you cannot hold it for yourself, every closing is a precision instrument, clearing the path toward the opening that was always coming. The synchronicities you've been experiencing, the recurring symbols, the unexpected meetings, the dreams that feel more real than waking life, the way certain words seem to arrive just as you most need them, those are not accidents, those are confirmations. They are the Pleiadian way of communicating through the fabric of your three-dimensional reality, leaving breadcrumbs of frequency that your soul recognizes even when your mind cannot quite explain why. Every time you notice a synchronicity and feel that electric recognition in your chest, that is your star family saying, "You are on the right path. Keep moving. We see you." Your star family is closer to you now than they have been in this entire incarnation, because you are closer to the version of yourself they have always known you to be. The sixth shift is perhaps the most quietly profound. Learning to trust the timeline your soul agreed to before you arrived here. The human experience of time is linear, one thing following another, each moment replacing the last. Progress measured in the distance between where you were and where you are. But the soul's experience of time is not linear. It is architectural. Every experience is a load-bearing element in a structure that will not make complete sense until you can see it from the outside. And the years that felt like misalignment, the environments that didn't fit, the relationships that cost you more than they gave, the long, quiet stretches of feeling invisible in your own life, those were not subtracted from your path. They were part of it. There will be a voice in you that says you should have found this sooner, that the years spent in misalignment were wasted, that you are behind some schedule, behind other souls who seem to have arrived at their purpose more efficiently, behind the version of yourself who should have figured this out earlier. That voice is not your Pleiadian wisdom speaking, it is the residue of a fear-based world that measures life in productivity rather than in evolution. It is the echo of a culture that values arrival over journey and has no framework for the kind of deep, slow, non-linear work that soul evolution actually requires. You were not late. You were incubating. Every experience you walked through in the environments that didn't fit you gave you something irreplaceable, a depth of compassion that could only be earned through having lived in the gap between who you are and what the world could see, a precision of discernment that could only be developed through years of navigating misalignment, and a rootedness in love that has been tested and proven through everything that tried to shake it. The path was not a detour, it was the preparation. And now the preparation is complete enough for the next chapter to begin. The seventh shift is the one you are standing at the threshold of right now, in this moment, with this transmission moving through you. It is the shift from seeking to embodying, from searching for home to becoming it. And this distinction, subtle as it may sound, is the entire revolution. Because seeking is oriented outward, it looks to the horizon for what it does not yet have. It positions the self as incomplete, as waiting, as not yet arrived at the thing that will finally make the journey feel worth it. Embodying is different. Embodying is the act of recognizing that what you have been searching for was never outside you. It was always the frequency you carry, looking for the conditions that would allow it to fully express. The Pleiadian starseeds who change this world don't do it by finding the perfect environment and then finally relaxing into their mission. They do it by becoming so fully themselves, so completely anchored in the love frequency of the Seven Sisters, that wherever they place their feet becomes aligned, ground. The alignment travels with them. The frequency they carry transforms the spaces they enter. The love they embody creates resonance in the environments they inhabit, not because those environments were already perfect, but because the presence of a fully embodied Pleiadian soul is itself a frequency event. It shifts what surrounds it. It calls forth the higher potential in what it touches. The new place your soul is guiding you toward, the city, the community, the creative space, the relationship field, the life it will meet you as you arrive in your fullness. Not before. Not while you are still partially contracted, still translating yourself, still apologizing for the frequency you carry. But the moment you arrive in fullness, you will recognize the meeting for what it is, the fulfillment of an agreement made before this lifetime began. This is why the internal work and the external repositioning are not separate processes. They are one movement. The inner clearing makes room for the outer alignment to arrive. The outer alignment activates a deeper layer of inner remembrance. Each feeds the other in an ascending spiral that, once you stop resisting it, carries you forward with a momentum that feels less like effort and more like coming home. And you are already in it. You have been in it longer than you know. The fact that you are here, receiving this transmission, is evidence that the movement is already happening. You didn't find this by accident. You were moved here by the same intelligence that is moving you toward everything that's coming next. Here is what your star family wants you to understand with absolute clarity. The ache you've been carrying is not a wound, it is a frequency. It is the sound of your Pleiadian origin calling you back into alignment with a life that actually holds you, not a life that tolerates you, not a life that accommodates the version of you that learned to take up less space, a life that genuinely, fully holds the whole of you, the vastness of your perception, the depth of your love, the precision of your gifts, the luminosity of the frequency you were born carrying. The homesickness you felt for a place you cannot name is not a longing for somewhere you've never been. It is a memory of a frequency you have always carried. It is the echo of a consciousness so expansive, so loving, so unutterably beautiful, that no three-dimensional environment will ever be a perfect replica of it. But that doesn't mean no environment can hold you. It means you have to stop settling for the ones that can't. You didn't come here to shrink yourself into spaces that couldn't hold your light. This sentence deserves to be received fully, because it runs contrary to everything a certain kind of spiritual conditioning has taught. There is a teaching well-intentioned, but ultimately limiting that spiritual maturity means becoming comfortable everywhere, accepting everything, needing nothing specific from the environments you inhabit. But this teaching does not account for what it means to be a transmission-oriented soul who came here specifically to anchor a frequency into a world that does not yet naturally produce it. You are not here to be comfortable anywhere. You are here to be fully present somewhere specific, somewhere resonant, somewhere that activates rather than suppresses the frequency you carry. You came here to find or create the environments that could hold your light, and then to transmit from that place the full, unfiltered, crystalline love of the Seven Sisters into every human heart that is ready to receive it. Before you move through the rest of your day, take one honest moment with yourself. Not a performative moment of spiritual reflection, but a genuinely honest one. Notice what in your current environment still resonates and what has quietly stopped. Not what you think should resonate, not what resonated 2 years ago, not what you've convinced yourself is resonant because changing it would be inconvenient. What actually resonates right now, today, with the version of you that is emerging. Not with judgment, not with urgency, but with the loving clarity of someone who finally trusts their own compass. Because the new place is not a fantasy. It is not a spiritual concept or a motivational metaphor. It exists on your timeline, a real, specific vibrational field that your energy field is already moving toward with or without your conscious cooperation. Your only task is to stop apologizing for the frequency you carry, stop contracting yourself to fit what was never meant to hold you, and begin moving even in small ways in the direction your heart has been pointing all along. If this transmission reached you somewhere real, don't let it pass through you without taking root. Leave one heart intention in the comments, something honest, something yours. And if you see someone else's words that land in you, respond to them. Not because it's polite, but because the unity grid we build here between souls who are remembering together is part of the mission. Your star family sees every act of genuine connection as a Pleiadian light code anchored into Gaia's field. This is the work, right here. If someone in your life has been carrying this same quiet ache, let them find this transmission. Share it. Because your star family didn't deliver this through you by accident, they delivered it through you with precision. And if your heart opened today, if something in you exhaled for the first time in a long time, stay close, subscribe, come back. Because this frequency is continuous, this remembrance is ongoing, and your Pleiadian family has more to return to you. We are just beginning.